Hello. Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today, we do have a whiskey with the E. We have George Remus. Alright, so let me show you the bottle. Now, I'll just have a little read for you. So, George Remus, King of the Bootleggers. Alright, now it says straight bourbon whiskey. It doesn't say Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey because it is from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So, we know that this is a m.g.p product. So m.g.p is pretty much source whiskey releasing under private brand labels. So this is pretty much their house label. So they decided to, name a distillery after George Remus and decided to bottle up their own stuff. But let me have a little read at the back for you. Now how will my headstone read? I suppose it will be King of the Bootleggers, George Remus, circa 1920. Alright, so it reads, from hypocrisy to kingpin, George Remus created one of the most intricate, successful bootlegging operations of Prohibition. George Remus bourbon captures the rebellious spirit of that era, with a hint of vanilla, maple aroma, and a sweet yet characteristic rye flavour, perfect for the speakeasy or liquor cabinet. We will see if we get these aromas in due time. Now this says it is 47%. Now it says right here, non-chill filtered. Very nice. Alrighty, so while I pour this up, I will have a little chat about it. Alright. So supposedly this is a high rye mash bill. Now I believe one of m.g.p's mash bill is like 30% rye or something, But I think it is over 50% corn as well, so it does count as a bourbon, but it seems like it's a high rye mash bill, so it's more rye on the rye side. But while this opens up, I will have a little chat. Okay, so supposedly around 4 years old, this juice. So before we get into the whole spirit itself, let's talk about Mr. George Remus. Now, let's just say George Remus was a German-born American lawyer who specialized in criminal defense, especially like murder cases. Now, he was born. No, his operation was in Cincinnati. All right, so he was a famous character in the whiskey history during Prohibition. All right, so pretty much he was a man who found a loophole to produce whiskey for medicinal purposes. So story goes, he found a friendly banker, all right, to loan him some money. So he went up and bought a lot of, government bonded distilleries, and he bought a lot of distilleries. I think Jack Daniel's being one of them, and eventually he was approved. He got he got a lot of whiskey stocks. Eventually he was approved to get the government approval to supply alcohol for medicinal purposes. Very interesting, very interesting. So, story goes, he opens up a drugstore, names it Kentucky Drug Company. So he starts shipping thousands of cases of whiskey through his Kentucky Drug Company. Now, note, when he was transporting his whiskey to his drug company, he even owned the trucking company, right? So, story goes, he was even hijacking his own shipments, maybe claiming it back on insurance, siphoning it out, out of the cask and filling it up with water, and then I think he was reselling it on the black market. So, very interesting man, alright? Now, story goes, they tried to arrest him many a times, but, alright, so let me have a little read. I wrote some notes, alright? Now, they tried to arrest him many times, but they couldn't pin him on anything, alright? Now, he had someone named Jesse Smith, a guy who sold medicinal permits, pay off Harry Darity, the Attorney General of the US, for protection money, alright? But Jesse, now he was pocketing some money, like for the deal, and I think he had a slight change of conscience, and somewhere along the line, killed himself. All right. Now that just removed all the protection for Mr. George Remus, so he eventually got locked up. Now, while he was locked up, all right. Now his wife had all the control. All right. So his wife had the power of attorney to, all of his, over all of his business, and she had pretty much management of all of his money. All right. Now, while he was locked up, he met a man who, what was his name? Frank Dodge or something. He was actually an undercover prohibition officer. All right. Who was meant to, he was sent in jail to gather information about all of George's money. Somewhere along the line, found out that his wife had control over a lot of the money. Eventually, he quit being the undercover of the, the prohibition officer thing, and then eventually went and hooked up with his the wife. So then they conspired to try, get everything from him, which obviously made him a little bit upset. So, supposedly they tried to have Mr. George whacked, hired a hitman. I think the hitman didn't follow through, and somewhere along the line, the hitman went and told George all about it. So I think he chased him down in a car, and then I think he shot her in front of on the steps of the courthouse. I think they were going to go finalize their divorce or something. But the funny thing, it's not really funny, but he shoots her in the face. Eventually, hands himself in because he shot her in front of all these people, and then eventually just pleads insanity. So he's the pioneer of the temporarily insanity kind of thing. Like she made me crazy. And since he was a lawyer, he got off. How about that? You shoot someone, you represent yourself, and you just say that she made you crazy because she was trying to take all my money from under me or something. But anyways, very interesting, colourful history. There's probably a whole lot more details. Like let's just say he used to hold lavish parties. He used to give all his guests, that were men, like diamond pins, and I think he bought all the women like cars. Wow, that would have been a great party to go to. Buy me some diamond pins and give my girls some cars or something. But anyways, that was just a simple rundown of Mr. George Remus. All right, now that we kind of got that out of the way, let's have a little look at this. All right, so color is relatively light, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's not too dark. Nice golden yellow hue. All right. Now on the nose. It's almost got like a sweet corn element to it, all right? Now, the vanilla is ever so slightly, you're not getting that much of the caramels and, no typical bourbon kind of notes or like that dark cherry or anything like that. This is just coming across corn sweetness, very spicy, like you can tell it's high rye. It's got that sweet, spicy corn, sweet corn, spicy edge about it. I don't know. Like some allspice thing going. I am getting a little bit of breadiness as well. Kind of reminds me of malts, but ever so slightly. But let's just say it doesn't nose like a bourbon. It's missing those dark notes. So, if you drink this, you could probably confuse it as a rye. I mean, just by the nose, it's just really spicy, alright, guys? Alright, let's just get right into it. On the palate. Cheers, everyone. Alright, so when you're splishing around, you can get that element of that furry texture, which is the unchill filtered part. if you know, you know. There's just something that you can feel that's like a furry element. But see, this is all spice. Like, sure, there's a little bit of sweetness, like rye sweetnesses, but predominantly it just rolls over and then it just goes bam, spice, and then it just eases off. But that was just the first sip. Let's go for a second one. Cheers, guys. Mm. All right. Second sip was a little bit less spicy, and then I got more of an oak presence. All right? I've been noticing with this bottle, the longer you leave it in your glass, the more of that oaky presence comes in. When you first pour it, you're not really getting too much of the oak. It's just like a dusty corn sweetness. You got that spice from the rye. The vanilla's really minimal. What did they say here? Aroma, maple aroma. Now, I mean, if you've tried like a Jack Daniel's number, that the gold one, number 27. Now that is maple. So this to me, if you're trying to dig for it, it must be really minute. It is really faint. Even like the vanillas and all that, it's all very faint. It's just coming across real grassy, like just like a rye. Very spicy. Yep. Well, I guess that's all I have to say. Finish. The finish isn't as long as the Wild Turkey 13 that I've been enjoying. Obviously, this is only rumored to be maybe only 4 years old or something like that. I appreciate it is 47%. I appreciate it is non-chill filtered, but I think it just needs some higher age. But I just needed to have a taste. We just need to see what the m.g.p profile is like, and that's how I can notice that maybe all that higher age m.g.p, that's been labeled and bottled in different ways and being sold for hundreds of dollars. Maybe I can see how this can become good, like the older stuff. Like, let's just say it's unique. If you're thinking of it's a bourbon, I mean, it's got similarities of it being a bourbon. Obviously, it's legally a bourbon, but it's just high rye, guys. So when you're having it, everything just reminds me of having a rye, the spiciness. You know what? Let's just have another one while we're here, guys. Anyways, let me know in the comments if you have tried George Remus and what do you think of it, guys? Was I right? Is it like I've been trying to see if it opens up and like to be perfectly honest, it's not really it's not evolving too much. Like yes, the oak presence is starting to come in as the bottle goes down, as there's more oxygen, but everything's still there. I mean, that slight vanilla, that sweet, dusty corn goodness, but it's just so spicy. Anyways, I'm going to repeat myself. Much love to you all, and cheers all. Let me know what you think of this, and yeah. Would I recommend it? Like this, here in Australia, this retails for $90. Obviously, me being me, I'm a Wild Turkey fan. For $90, I can get a rare breed, you know. But I bought this out of FOMO, many of months ago when I first seen it. It was the only bottle on the shelf. That's the first and last time you ever seen it on a shelf. So I had to get it because I didn't know if I was going to see it again. And to be honest, I wanted to try. So this is why we're here. Anyway, guys, we're going on to 15 minutes. This is going way too long. Cheers, everyone. Much love to you all. You are all appreciated. Drink responsibly, but share your thoughts. Let me know what you think of this. Cheers, guys. Like if you're looking at bourbon as dark, you know, the older bourbons, more dark notes, more that cherry and all that dark caramel notes and deep vanillas. This is just light, very bright, very grassy, very rye. Alright. As each sip goes on, that spice kind of just eases back. I'm not getting it as bad now. Yeah, a little bit left. Let's just have another sip and finish this off, eh? Cheers, everyone. Yeah, like the spice is still there, guys. It comes in right at the end. Alright. It's kind of even mixed in with little slight bitter notes, you know? That's why the bitter notes is kind of blending in with the spice notes. But this is what I mean. As the bottle goes down, the bitter notes you're referring to as the oak. So you're starting to get like an oaky presence, but obviously not good, like not the best oak, but it's there. But it's just spicy, guys. So did they even mention the spice? Sweet yet, and a sweet yet characteristic rye flavor. They don't even say nothing about spice. Well, I'm telling you guys now, this is spicy. Alright? But as you do keep drinking it, the spice does kind of ease back. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you all next time. I'm just repeating myself. Alright, guys. See you all later.